What's up, guys? You're watching Joe Box TV. So, some big fights this weekend. Earlier this morning, we had Joseph Parker winning a majority decision over Andy Ruiz over in New Zealand. We have several more big fights today. First, let's start with the fight at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Showtime in the UK. Anthony Joshua, the 2012 Olympic gold medalist, against Eric Molina. Molina got the shot against Joshua with a knockout over a faded Tomasz Adamek earlier this year. I think Joshua will win this fight very easily. However, I expect Joshua's speed and explosive power to be too much. Molina was able to take Wilder into the later rounds and land some big shots, but I think Joshua's aggressive mentality and I think the fact that he's always anxious to stop his opponents early, I think that will lead to an early stoppage here. Well, I'll say fourth round, Anthony Joshua stops him. So, let's go to the HBO card, which begins at 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The main event will be Terence Crawford against John Molina. The co-feature will be Raymundo Beltran against Mason Menard. I'm going with Beltran here. I think he's more of a seasoned veteran, and I think he's a better inside fighter than Menard, which is most of Menard's game, inside fighting. Menard does have a lot of power. He had an explosive knockout earlier this year on Showbox. He can really fight on the inside. I just expect Beltran's experience to play a big factor here. I think he'll be just a little bit too much for Menard. I'm going with Beltran by a close decision. Now, for the main event on HBO, you got the undisputed junior welterweight champion, Terence Crawford, against John Molina. Molina actually didn't make weight yesterday. He came in at 144 in a 140-pound fight. He then went back to the scale and weighed in at 143.2. The fight will still go on, but Molina can't win the belts. Now, my prediction, I expect Crawford to win very easily. Just far too skilled. As we saw against Victor Postal, just tremendous boxing ability. Now, I'm going with Crawford by 8th round stoppage. Despite him being more of an outside fighter and a boxer, I just think him being so superior to Molina in terms of skill set, I think it would just be too much. And that's nothing against John Molina. You know, he's been in a lot of wars. I just think it's kind of caught up to him. He did have a great win against Ruslan Provodnikov, but Provodnikov, while being a great brawler, that's a whole different story. Crawford is a whole different animal. I think he'll peck away with the jab in the early rounds. He'll just systematically pick Molina apart. I expect his skill set to be on full display here. Now, you might wonder, why is this fight happening? And I agree, it's a major mismatch. But this one I can understand because no one really wants to fight Crawford at the moment. So, like I said, I'll take Crawford by 8th round stoppage. I think he showed against Gamboa he can really outfight you, despite being a boxer by nature. Okay. Now for the Showtime card. The co-feature is between Jamal Charlo and Julian Williams. Maybe the best fight of the weekend. Charlo is more accomplished than Williams. He's established himself as a major player at 154. He already holds a world title, whereas Julian Williams is more of a prospect. With that being said, I expect Julian J. Rock Williams, to pull this off. Very close decision, I'm expecting. Now, if it's an outside fight, a chess match, so to speak, if it's a thinking game, I expect Charlo to win. Just better jab, better at fighting on the outside. But I expect Julian Williams to be able to take away that jab, bring the fight to the inside, and I think the major factor here is going to be Williams being more powerful. Just, I'd say probably a bit stronger and tougher, and I think that's going to be the difference. A lot of times in close fights like this that I say as 50-50, I tend to go with the boxer, but Williams can also box himself. He's more of a inside fighter. But again, I'm going with Williams by a close decision. I think he can bring the fight to the inside, take away Charlo's jab, and I think he'll land all the telling power shots in this fight, which will be the difference. Charlo's definitely going to have his moments, but I expect Williams' advantages in strength and power to be the difference. Okay, let's go to the main event between Jesus Cuellar and Abner Marez. Just like the Beltran Menard fight, I'm going with the seasoned veteran here. Jesus Cuellar is a very powerful, hard-punching young prospect. Marez, at one point, was on a lot of people's pound-for-pound lists at the peak of his career, but then ran to Johnny Gonzalez and got stopped in the first round. He hasn't quite been the same since, but I'm expecting a good comeback victory for Abner Marez here. I think his experience will serve him well. I expect him to grind out a decision over Cuellar. Cuellar was actually stopped earlier in his career against, I believe it was Oscar Escandón. But I see a lot of improvements in Cuellar since then. With that being said, I still see a lot of flaws in Cuellar. He gets hit a little bit too much for me. So I think Marez, being such a good combination puncher, is going to out-hustle him. should be a good one. I think most of these fights will be terrific action fights. I'm really looking forward to it. Joe Box TV out.